Hello, troublemakers out there. I'm Matt Catling, and this is the next disruption session where we interview the biggest troublemakers we can find. We answer your questions to help you get disruptive in life and business. Now, let's get started. Hello, Matt here, and welcome to the next disruption session, everybody. So this is for all the troublemakers out there that don't fit the mold, that want to break out of your job, break out of your business, and break into life. And last night I ran a seminar. It's called The Great Escape, which is also part of our Troublemakers brand. And the Great Escape program is all about that concept, breaking out of your job, breaking out of your business, and breaking into life. Now, specifically, the Great Escape program is how we hatch an escape plan to break out of that job and do your first 100K. And I think the challenge with that kind of breakout really is, number one, mindset. Mindset is just so important because when you're in a job, you have basically an external structure that is in control of you. This external structure is the thing that's paying you. You have a boss that's standing over you, telling you what to do. And so you kind of put certainty externally. But when it comes to you jumping out and launching your business for the first time, it can be incredibly scary. In some cases, you can be paralyzed because there is no one telling you what to do. There is no system. There is no rule book. You have to create the rule book. So what that means is you've got to find that certainty inside of you, and you've got to kind of change the meaning of what failure is, because in corporate, perfection's required, and typically the system's already been created and the worker bees follow that system to the letter, and they need to be perfect. And the more you can be a perfectionist, the more you kind of skyrocket up the corporate ladder. Whereas small business is the opposite. We have to change the relationship that we have with perfectionism, because perfectionism is one of the biggest killers, especially for small business. You know, becoming perfect will happen later, kind of when you're doing the $1 million to $10 million jump. Once you've got a system, once you understand your market, once you've got a team, you know, that's when perfectionism is required, and often it's your team that's doing the stuff more effectively than you. But when you're doing that 0 to 100K jump, and especially if you've been kind of university educated and you've been in a job your entire life, that has conditioned this kind of worker bee mentality, or being told what to do. And if you're not told and if you don't follow the rules, then you're guilty and you should be punished. Whereas an entrepreneur, it's kind of the opposite. We want to be disruptive, and that's why I created the Troublemakers, is adopting that Troublemakers mindset where we break our rules, our self-imposed rules, and we challenge authority, we challenge the way things have been done, and we think out of the box, and we get really creative. And so that's the type of thing that we need to be able to develop from a mindset perspective, is to build that certainty from within instead of looking for it outside of ourselves. Now, the minute we build that certainty from within, motivation will consistently start to build. But if we're kind of looking for certainty externally, then we're going to be dependent on some other structure for motivation. And so that's one of the biggest mindset challenges, is how do we develop that certainty from within? And how do we change our relationship to failure? Because that's what we have to do. We have to flip it. And we have to stop being perfect. We have to be disruptive. We have to be creative. We have to break the rules. And we have to innovate. And the 0 to 100K, the last thing you want to do is be perfect. You want to create a mess. This is what I say to people. Create a mess, typically a sales mess, and then get someone else to clean it up. So many people that I was talking to the Troublemakers last night on The Great Escape, and a lot of them were doing the reverse. They were like, oh, we need to build this wonderful administration system, and we need to do everything perfect, and perfect websites, perfect brochures, all this type of stuff. Yet they don't even understand what the business is, who their customer is. And so what typically happens with a lot of people is that they go and invest enormous amounts of money. They go and spend 10, 20, in some cases $50,000 on website brochures, all of the business cards, all of these flashy things, and they don't even know what their product or service is. They don't even know if their customer is even interested in this stuff. And so what I kind of teach is the opposite. We start with a low budget and we kind of let go of our agenda. Sure, we've got a concept, but what we're most interested in, especially in the early phases, is who is our customer? What drives them? What keeps them up at night? What are the problems that they have? And what have they done to resolve these problems? What is it worth to them to be able to solve these problems? And obviously, our job is to be able to solve these problems or help them solve these problems faster than they can do it themselves. And that is so, so crucial. So many business owners out there assume to know what their customers want, and they haven't done the research. And this is such a challenge because you can be, as a customer, in the market or you can be out of the market. And so if you're, the leader of your business, you're the owner of your business, and you're selling a certain product or service, you may not be in the market. In fact, you may be a couple of logical levels above your customers. And so that might be that maybe once upon a time you're a customer, but if we look at you at this point in time, you wouldn't actually purchase that product or service. And so your mindset is that you wouldn't purchase that product or service, and you're trying to assume what your customers want? No. We have to go back to maybe when at the beginning, when you were a customer, and we've got to look at the language that you represented the problem, or whatever it is, the product, the solution, all of those things. We've got to analyze that. But more specifically, and the best way is to kind of get that ideal customer. Who is that one customer that would refer? They might re-sign if there's if it's services, they might re-sign, or it might be products and they keep purchasing products. They refer people. This is a person that we need to know. We need to understand them. We need to do like a deep dive into their psychology, their values, their belief systems, where do they hang out, and do that type of research. We might even provide our services for free to that one specific person so that we can do the research and we can get the learnings. And I think that is so important. I think a lot of business owners are missing this. And once we can get that information, then we can start to build the right ascension model in terms of products and services. We can start to use the language that we were able to draw out of our customers and put that on our website, on our brochures, to be able to transform our logos in a way that is enticing, as well as looking at our customers and how our customers are positioning their products, promoting their products, their price, all of those different things. So what I say to troublemakers out there is, let's keep it simple. Instead of kind of going out and investing all of this money, and you will find people that will take your money, I guarantee you. You'll find marketers that will take your money, you'll find designers that will take your money, and you will not get a return. I've seen this over and over and over again. So I say, keep your money, but what you want to do is invest in yourself, in working on your mindset to become a leader. Invest in coaching, especially a coach that has been there, that has done that, or is a specialist in your specific niche or area. That is so, so crucial. One of the things that I think is missing, especially in small business, is support. It is very, very lonely. A lot of small business owners, they launch businesses and they go and tell everyone that they're going to be a multi-millionaire, they're going to do this, they're going to do this, they're going to do this. They tell their friends and family members, they launch the business, they make the wrong decisions, typically investing in money in areas that don't work, and then all of a sudden they're running out of money and they're feeling that cash flow kind of panic. And they're positioned to all of their friends and family members that they're going to be this multi-millionaire, all that type of stuff. And the friends and family members look at this person and they're struggling. So what's the conversation? Why don't you go back to the job? That's much more safe. And so then they start to project their fears, and maybe part of them, some of them are kind of secretly happy, because if you were to succeed out there and do some amazing things, it might be that they have to change. And some people will do whatever it takes to not change, to not show up, because sometimes problems and challenges are what people know. To then shift out of those, well, Who am I outside of those problems? And so it's really, really important, I think, if you're a small business owner, to have support and to have people that are outside of your environment, to have people that are playing 10 levels above you. That's why I've always got coaches that are ahead of the game, that are where I want to be, that are not emotionally connected, and that help me rise up and pounce on opportunities and to be able to make decisions quickly. The fact is that you're not going to be switched on 100% of the time. In fact, a lot of the time you're going to be switched off. A lot of the time you're going to be facing setbacks. You're going to have failure in your face. And to have a support system in place that understands you and can support you from a mindset perspective, from strategy, to be able to get back into the game as fast as you possibly can. Remember, we're going to have the down periods, but the key is to be able to acknowledge those and to develop a strategy to get back into action as quickly as possible. If you look at a lot of medium-sized to large organizations, they all have boards. They have boards of advice, and these boards sit above the business, outside of the business, and they give objective advice. Now, I've sat in so many different on boards and in board meetings, and basically it's a coaching session. And if we look at the small business, place, they don't have that support. This is why I say every small business, you've got to have a coach. You've got to have a coach, someone that is not emotionally connected. You've got to pay for it. And a really great coach is going to act like a board, is going to give you objective advice, open up their network and resources, and hold you to a business plan. It blows me away. So many businesses don't have business plans, and you've probably heard of this before. If you don't have a business plan, you're kind of planning to fail, okay? And so this is what we want to be able to do, is have that support system in place and to build a network of people that are playing a bigger game. Instead of, and this is not a nice thing to say, instead of family and friends that are in jobs that don't understand business, because they will project their fears onto you, and if you listen to that, you'll be on their agenda instead of your own agenda. One of the things about being an entrepreneur, you're a bit of a visionary. And what is a visionary? A visionary is someone that holds onto a vision of possibility, an inspiring and a motivating vision, and they hold onto that vision, and they've got clarity on that vision in terms of the big picture, and they're able to hold on to that vision in doom and gloom. When everyone else is around them and they're saying that it's not going to work, the market's down, or whatever it is, the leaders, the visionaries are the ones that can hold on to that vision and really inspire their team. And that's to me what leadership is. And so if you're kind of doing the Great Escape at the moment, my suggestion is look at your mindset. We have incredible technologies that are out there at the moment. Unfortunately, they're just not mainstream. And one of the things that I've done in my Live It Now training is I've really helped people kind of do audits on themselves so that we can look at limiting decisions around money, limiting decisions around business, negative emotions, fear, guilt, hurt, sadness, like the guilty receiving pattern. If you've got that going on, that'll often mean that you'll overcompensate when it comes to giving and you won't be able to receive. And that shows up so much where people are working really, really hard and the revenue isn't coming in because when they get it, they feel guilty, so they sabotage it. All of these things are often not taught in the business consulting world, yet they're so important. You've heard me say this before. A business will never outperform the psychology or skill level of the leaders. And so if we're talking about the breakout of your job, number one thing I want to share with you guys is get the mindset right, build that foundation, and get support. Get a team around you that are going to support you and shield you from the challenges that are going to hold you back. And make sure that you don't waste your money on things that don't work. Get back to basics. Julian, my business partner in the Troublemakers, we both say this. Old school is cool. And it's so true. It's getting back to those basics, not hiding behind tech, building those relationships, spending the time and getting out there and having a vision for the long term to be able to make a consistent and significant difference in the lives of your customers and eventually in the lives of your team that you start to build. So I hope this has helped in some way, and I hope to see you either in the next Live It Now or the Troublemakers Disruption Tour. check out mattcatling.com. We've launched that now. And so you can actually, by checking out that site, you can see where I'm speaking next and come along to either Live It Now or the Troublemakers. And you can basically come along to that for free. And we can really help you kind of do that audit on yourself and get out there and play a big game as a troublemaker. So catch you soon in the next disruption session, everybody. Take care.